In the year 1966, the United States quarter dollar continued to be one of the most commonly used coins in circulation, representing 25 cents or 1/4 of a dollar. But the 1966 quarter holds a special place among collectors because it was part of a transitional period in U.S. coinage. This was the time right after the U.S. Mint had removed silver from circulating coins, shifting to a copper-nickel-clad composition. Prior to 1965, quarters were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, due to the rising price of silver and the resulting shortage of coins in circulation, the U.S. Mint decided to remove silver entirely from the quarter in 1965. Therefore, the 1966 quarter, like the 1965 version, was composed of copper-nickel-clad. That is, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change gave the coin its characteristic light gray appearance with a slightly reddish edge when viewed from the side. The obverse side of the 1966 quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This design has been used since 1932, marking the bicentennial of Washington's birth. On the obverse, the word "Liberty" appears across the top, with the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left of Washington's neck, and the date, 1966, placed below. The coin does not carry a mint mark, and that's because during the years 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint decided to omit mint marks from all coins to discourage collectors from hoarding coins based on their mint origin. This means that every 1966 quarter, regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, carries no mint mark, giving all coins from this year the same appearance. This decision was part of the government's effort to stabilize coin circulation during a time when millions of people were saving coins for their silver content or for collecting purposes. The reverse of the coin, also designed by John Flanagan, shows a majestic bald eagle standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath it, symbolizing America's strength and its desire for peace. Around the upper rim appears the phrase, "United States of America," and below that, the denomination, quarter dollar. The phrase, "E pluribus unum," which means, "out of many, one," is positioned above the eagle's head. The diameter of the coin is 24.3 millimeters, and its weight is approximately 5.67 grams. It has a reeded edge, giving it a distinct texture compared to smooth-edged coins. Now, let us talk about the coin's history and mintage. The U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of 1966 quarters, around 821 million coins in total. Because of this huge mintage, most 1966 quarters are quite common in circulation and are not considered rare. However, collectors still seek coins that are in exceptional condition, that is, coins with no wear, bright luster, and sharp details. These coins are often graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, and the value can vary dramatically depending on the grade. Circulated examples of the 1966 quarter are generally worth their face value of 25 cents, since they are made of base metal and contain no silver. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those graded mint state 65 or higher, can be worth significantly more to collectors. In today's coin market as of 2025, an average circulated 1966 quarter without a mint mark typically sells for around 25 cents to 50 cents. But if you have a coin in uncirculated condition, meaning it was never used and still has its original mint luster, the value can rise to between $1 and $5. Depending on eye appeal and surface quality, coins graded MS65 by professional grading services usually range between $7 and $15, while extremely high-grade coins, such as MS67 examples, can fetch prices up to $80 or more. The highest grade 1966 quarter ever sold at auction in pristine condition has reached prices near $1,000. Because collectors compete for the finest known examples. Another interesting part of the 1966 quarter S story is the existence of certain errors and varieties. Although mint errors from 1966 are relatively uncommon, there are a few that attract strong collector interest. For example, there are some known double die obverse varieties, where parts of the lettering such as, "In God We Trust," or the date, 1966, appear slightly doubled. Such coins can be worth anywhere from $20 to over $100 depending on the strength and clarity of the doubling. There are also off-center strikes, clipped blanchets, and broad-struck errors known from 1966 quarters. An off-center strike where part of the design is missing because it was struck outside the center of the planchet can be valued between $50 and $200, depending on how dramatic the error is. A clipped planchet coin, where a small curved section of the metal blank is missing, can be worth between $10 and $50. These mint errors add a layer of fascination and rarity to an otherwise common coin. Some collectors also pay attention to SMS, or special mint set versions of the 1966 quarter, because no proof coins were made in 1965, 1966, or 1967. The U.S. Mint instead produced special mint sets for collectors. These sets contain coins with a sharper strike and smoother surfaces compared to regular circulation coins, though not quite as mirror-like as proofs. The 1966 special mint set quarter can be worth around $2 to $5 if it's in average condition. But examples graded SP67 or SP68 can reach prices between $20 and $100, depending on overall appearance and toning. Some of these coins display a beautiful, satiny finish that appeals to numismatists. It's also worth noting that because the 1966 quarter is composed of copper and nickel rather than silver, its intrinsic metal value is far below its face value. The copper and nickel content together make the coin worth only a few cents in raw metal terms, even if melted. But numismatic or collector value is based on condition, rarity, and historical significance, not on metal content alone. That's why collectors still look for high-grade or error examples from 1966 despite the lack of silver. Now, when evaluating your own 1966 quarter, you should first check for condition. Coins that show heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration are considered circulated and typically have little collector premium. However, if you find a coin with sharp details on Washington S. hair, clean fields, and no visible wear on the Eagle S wings on the reverse, then you might have an uncirculated example. To confirm, hold the coin under light and tilt it slowly. If you can see a strong, reflective mint luster across the surface, the coin likely hasn't circulated. Also, check for any signs of doubling on the date or lettering, as those can increase value. The grading scale used by collectors ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70. Most coins found in circulation today would fall between grades VG8 and O50. Such coins generally have minimal collector value beyond face value. But coins in mint state, particularly those above MS65, are where the real interest lies. These coins often appear flawless to the naked eye, though under magnification tiny marks from the minting process might be visible. For the 1966 quarter, achieving grades above MS67 is rare because of the high-speed minting techniques of that period, which often left minor contact marks on coins. To summarize, the general market value ranges for clarity. A 1966 quarter dollar without mint mark in average circulated condition is worth about $0.25 to $0.50. In uncirculated condition, it ranges from $1 to $5. Mint state 65 examples can bring between $7 and $15. Mint state 67 coins can reach $80 or more. And coins of exceptional quality or rare errors can go from $100 all the way up to around $1,000 in auctions or high-end sales. Collectors appreciate the 1966 quarter not for its precious metal content but for its role in American coinage history. It represents the era when the nation shifted away from silver and moved toward more practical base metal coins that could circulate widely without fear of being hoarded for melt value. The 1966 quarter reminds us of the changing times of the mid-1960s, an era of transition in both economy and design, when everyday coins began reflecting modern industrial materials. Even though it is a common coin, each 1966 quarter you hold tells a small story of that transition. And if preserved well, it could become a small but meaningful treasure in your collection. For those interested in collecting these coins today, it's a great starting point. You can easily find 1966 quarters in pocket change or from old coin jars and buy